All the Things with Lane and Laney. Husband and wife, parents, living in the Midwest. Every show is different, and almost no topic is off limits. Please help us out. Subscribe to the podcast. Download the show, not just listen. Rate us. That 5-star rating would be amazing. Give us a review and tell a friend. Help us spread the word. All the Things. Here's Lane and Laney.
And we're recording. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on All the Things with Lane and Laney.
Wow, got it right.
Nailed it.
Good start.
Yes.
Good start. If you'd like to contact us, Laney will have to give out you some information here.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at All the Things with Lane and Laney. And if you'd like to message us, you can do so at allthethingswithlaneyandlaney@gmail.com.
Good deal.
Oh, and we're on YouTube. I always forget YouTube.
YouTube is just Lane and Laney.
Yep.
Let's see. Our next guest is a junkie for all things media. Having been involved in radio, TV, and now podcasting since the late 80s, he's made a sensational name for himself in Toledo, Ohio, as the host of the top-rated Andrew Z in the Morning Show, which has won awards and has been recognized for being the morning show of the year. A giant personality that once you listen to, you won't forget. He is a driven guy who is also an entrepreneur, so we hope to hear about the present and future ventures, his food truck, multiple podcasts, etc. So please welcome to our podcast, Andrew Zepeda.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How
Howdy.
are you?
Thanks for being on.
I love your studio. I love it. It's fun.
Great.
I'm glad it could come in.
Super fancy studio we
I
got
know. Man.
We're just happy to have people in the house, you know.
here. Yeah.
Other than kids, right?
Yes.
Other than
Jesus,
kids.
I know.
Yes.
Let's say it's the
You
Zoom.
have kids, don't you?
We have 5.
Jesus.
Yeah, we have 5.
Holy.
I had 2, and my wife had 2 when we got together from a
Okay.
previous, and then we had 1 together. So we've got 5 girls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
Bless your soul.
Well, no, here's the thing. I hate taking credit like, oh my God, you have 5 kids, what great parents, blah, blah, blah. But you gotta remember, half the time they're with the other parents.
Right.
So it's not, we only have the 1 full time.
Okay.
And the other 2 bounce around, the other 4 bounce around
Yeah.
between the other
Oh,
2
okay.
households. So,
That's still a lot of women under one roof.
it is. I'm the only testosterone in the entire house.
Yes, that's crazy.
That's either bringing your estrogen up or it's bringing their testosterone up, one or the
Well,
other.
I think I was born to be this way because I was a single. My mom was a single parent. It was just me and her for most of my life growing up. So I've been. My grandma raised me. My mom raised me.
Oh, nice.
And so I think it's all fairness that I only have girls.
Yes. And you're not from Toledo area. You're from California,
From
right?
LA, yep, LA area.
Okay.
Left when I was I went to a broadcast school, and then left when I was 18 to start my career in radio. That was 89, I think. And then took my first radio job. Going from LA, I went to Sparta, Illinois, which is a town of 5,000.
Oh, jeez.
There wasn't even a signal light. Like there was no signal light.
Oh, my gosh.
There was no Walmart. There was nothing like that in the entire town. It was one of those towns where you walked into the cafe. My ex-wife at the time, we went out there, and you walk in the cafe, and it's one of those things like in a scene from a movie where the forks just stop and everyone stares at you because
Absolutely.
they don't know you.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going back to LA, and she's like, you can come with me. I'm like, I'm staying here, and that was it. She went back, and it's funny. I've married 2 Michelles, which is weird.
Oh, that is
Oh, yeah.
weird.
I know. So that was my first job, was in Sparta, Illinois, and then I just kind of traveled all over, mostly the Midwest, but also was in Tucson, Arizona for a year, which was amazing. The city was amazing. Arizona was amazing. The opportunity wasn't the best. So then I was in Saginaw, Michigan, with my team, the mid Michigan area. I went to Tucson by myself. Was there for a year and didn't really enjoy the opportunity. Had a chance to come back to Toledo and bring my old co-host from Michigan. So that's when I took the opportunity here, and we've been here since 2005, so it's the longest I've ever been anywhere.
Really?
And now with my wife and I splitting, and then the kids being here, probably not leaving.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be the last stop.
Yeah.
So I say that's the way it usually goes. Is people will jump around, travel, they'll do their thing, and then once the kids kind of get settled in school and their friends, you can't pull those out.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in media. Like if you take Kimberly Newman, for example, she was a weather girl. She was here. I hate saying weather girls. That's so derogatory. I am a meteorologist and a scientist. But she was working at Channel 11, I think, or 24 doing the weather. She'd been at both, and then she left town. But it's once you find a spouse that can't move, then that's kind of where you stay.
Yeah.
So she had left for a minute to do I think Indiana to do weather or whatever, but she had met her future husband here, so she ended up coming back, taking a job in PR, leaving the TV business. Because that's usually what happens is you settle down wherever you find someone that you're going to be with, and that's where their family is and whatever. Well, we're kind of media people are kind of nomads until they're traveling from market to market. Yeah. No, I probably lived 9 different cities over my career. Yeah.
I was gonna say I wanted to start out the conversation talking about radio DJs, and I wanted to know, the first question was, why do you guys bounce around so much? Is it a job requirement, or is it just kind of like,
better opportunity?
I'm not good with this scene anymore. I'm ready to move on.
No, it's always better. I mean, it should be moving up the ladder. I mean, you should always be making moves to move up the ladder.
Okay.
So bigger market, more money, better opportunity. Maybe you're going from afternoons to mornings. Maybe you get more money. Maybe so it's always better opportunity. But you're moving around a lot. You know, in media. But it's always you're supposed to be moving. There comes a point where you find one that you settle on, or maybe what happens a lot is you find a market that you're successful in, you go on to the next market, maybe you're not successful, so then you'll come back to the market where it's like a ladder. You come back to the rung on the ladder where you were successful, and then kind of hang out there.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Makes total sense. That I was wondering what the ladder was. Did you try to become like the studio manager, or what is the progression? You come in as a rookie.
The end goal. What's the end goal?
So markets, every city's a market. So like New York's 1, LA's 2, Chicago's 3, Dallas is 5. Detroit's probably 15. Toledo's just in the top 100, right about 90, somewhere around 90, 95. Okay. So it's starting in a smaller market where your market 150, 200 maybe, and then as you get better, then you move up to market 50, or you move up to market 25, you move up to market 10 or whatever.
So what does that bring about though when you move into a different market and it's a higher? Okay, so are they paying you more to be there? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. Like if someone starts take Ginger Z for example, who's a friend of mine, and she's at Good Morning America. Yeah. But she started out. We were both in Flint together, Michigan.
Really? Okay.
So which Flint's market 125.
You know who she is.
Yeah, it just hit me. She's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, she looks a lot like Lani.
Yeah, she does.
Yes.
She does. Which Flint's like market 125, and I think she went from there to Grand Rapids, which was market like 80. Yeah. And then she got a job in Chicago, which was market like market 3. And then she got Good Morning America. So every time you go up, and now she's the head chief meteorologist for all of ABC News, Good Morning America.
Wow.
Oh
and making a crap load of money.
Yeah.
And
Andrew,
she got a book out.
You've got to get us with her. She's got to talk to us.
I might be able to do that. I might. We had her on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
We've had her on several times. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Actually, the funny story is, like I said, we've been friends for 20 years, and when we were having a baby, our baby's almost 4 now, so this has been 4 years ago. We were figuring out a way how to announce the pregnancy, and I got a hold of Ginger, and she's the type. She's a great person because she's the same person now that she was back then.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
she doesn't like ruffling feathers. She's not a hey, do you know who I am? She
seems very
like I
genuine.
would be.
Yeah.
She's not that person. So when she asks something at ABC, she gets it because she doesn't ask for very much.
Oh, sure.
And I said, hey, I want to come and I want to announce the pregnancy on Good Morning America. She said, okay. And she clicked me into her people, and same day they got us passes to Good Morning America. Yeah. So it was like for the next week. Wow. And so that's how much pull she's got. But so we drove to New York to be on Good Morning America, and we announced that we were having a baby, and then I proposed on top of that. Ginger knew about that.
Oh, wow.
Colleen didn't know about that. But I ended up proposing and announcing the birth of our child on Good Morning America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how do you top that?
Yeah, you can't.
Wow, it's who you know.
It is.
who you know for sure.
Very true.
That's fantastic.
Well, and you see, when you've been doing this as long as I have, there are a lot of people that have become way more successal than you. But
Sure.
you see them go up through the.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in the, like big wigs that I know now that and we maybe we're at the same place or we met going up and whatever. And then I got stuck in Toledo and they moved on.
We were trying to remember what you said you started in 2005?
2005.
Okay. So that's quite a while ago. We were
Yeah.
thinking like 8-9 years maybe, but
No, it's what's it been? 15 plus.
Wow.
Well, but the last 5 years, I think my last on air at Star. I think Star was about 5 years ago.
okay.
And then,
But you started at 92, right?
92, correct.
Okay.
We were there for about 5 years, and then I think it was at Cumulus, which was Star 105 and The Vibe for about 5-6 years. So
Okay.
yeah, about 10 or 11 years total, and then the last couple of years just been doing podcasting and other stuff.
Sure,
Yes.
Yeah.
sure. I'll say it's always amazed me that you listen to these people on the radio and their personalities come across. Is it their personalities or is it like my show personality? You know, I got to be upbeat and crazy and wild. But I think with you, especially now having you in the house for more than 10, 15, 20 minutes, it's like that's just you. And I
Yeah.
never found you abrasive when I listened to you.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm
There
the
are other DJs, and I'm like, Jesus, God, turn the dial.
It's funny. Most, I'm unusual. In fact, most DJs I think started as introverts, or they were quiet in school or whatever, and it was a
funny.
chance for them to
Just break out.
You know, you get behind the mic and become this personality and someone maybe who they aren't really are. But with me, I'm the same either way. Like when you meet me in person or when you listen to me, I'm the same person either way. So I think I'm more of an anomaly than the rule in this business. Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you met DJs that you just can't stand? I'm not going to remote with
Locally?
that person.
Oh, yeah. You just there's some people you don't get along with, but like you don't see them though. If I'm on 6 to 10,
Right.
and then you got a 10 to 3 person, which at Kiss FM was she was voice tracked, which means she was record her show from another market and just ship it in. So there was no one after us, and then we had an afternoon guy that would come in at 3, but we'd be long gone by then.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you don't really see the other people all that much as far as on air. So,
So why do they? Can I ask why they do that? I mean, because now what is it? I think it's 105. It's somebody else. It's somebody like from Georgia or something. That
radio is just they've destroyed the business. The business is done. I mean, anyone that you know in the business is just a matter of time, unfortunately, and it's cost saving. You know, if you can have one guy voice track 7 radio stations, well, that's 6 other people you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
You know, like the sad part, just to see how far Kiss has gone. There's nobody local anymore. There's not one local show.
Oh, really?
Mojo's out of Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have Ryan Seacrest in middays, which is from L.A. And then they afternoon guys from L.A. and
Really?
night guys from I think probably L.A. too. They
Wow.
don't have
Man.
any I mean, it's sad because to be part of the community and be out
Yes.
there, and they just have no local presence whatsoever and have no idea what's
see.
going on in this market. I mean, but you know, Cumulus isn't much better. You look at Star 105; their morning show is out of market. Middays, I think, are local, and then afternoons are local. So they've got a few more shows, but you know, it's cost saving.
I say that's too bad because you
Yeah.
really get a hold of somebody like the guy on 105.5. I can't think of his name. Chris.
I have no idea who you're talking
I
about.
can't. He used to run the morning show.
Eric Chase.
Eric Chase,
Chase,
yes.
yeah.
Eric Chase. He is so in tune with what's going on in the community.
He is.
He just sits there and rattles off all this shit. And
He
it's just
does
like,
a great job.
wow, I'm glad I tuned in at this time or ran across the channel at this time to hear
Well, it's
all
cool.
the stuff that's
It's cool
going
that
on.
you noticed because again, I mean, it takes a lot of work, and he is very good at that. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he does a good job with that. But again, the other ones, it's all generic stuff. They don't know or whatever.
Oh my gosh, I
It's
cannot.
just the business is real, you know. And then they're just aren't. It's just music. You know, it's wherever they can save money, they're saving money.
Let's say I listen to somebody like Ryan Seacrest and the group that he has on with him, the ladies he has on, and it's all just fake smiles through their teeth and just you know, it's all just Hollywood shit.
Right.
And you can hear it like, you know, what I don't even know some of the things that they do, but when you tune in there, it's just like, I'm going to ask you this question, and while you're answering it, I'm going to be over here doing something else. I'm not really listening. And, oh, you're done talking? Great. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, the problem is too, so much of that is so, like you said, it's just so fake now. Like even the War of the Roses and all the second date updates, it's all fake.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know. It's just when we did phone scams and we did all that stuff. It was all real. But it's all fake now. So
I didn't know that. You just bursted my bubble.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been that way. It's been that way for several years now.
Wow.
You know, it's all. I'm sorry.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but I still kind of.
You want to get people to listen, so you can't just have somebody, you know, doesn't react the right way.
But you know what? But now real conversation. I mean, real.
Yeah.
It's being real. I mean, it's just, and that's why I think podcasting is exploding and other stuff, because it's just they're not getting that stuff on the air anymore.
I was gonna say, did you like having the transition from radio to podcasting, where it's kind of like nothing was off limits?
It was forced on me, but
well,
because I had legal issues. You know, when it's funny because when I was doing the morning show, I've been doing radio forever, and it's probably what I was going to do forever. And then I had a guy come to me and say that, hey, what was it? East of Chicago Pizza. He was like the general manager here, and he says, you know, I have territories in 4 states, and this is my home market, and we only have one east of Chicago here in town. I want to give you a franchise. I want to give it to you, and then because I want to get more stuff going. I think you do a good job. People know who you are, blah, 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 whatever. Right. And so I started asking around, and some people thought East Chicago was okay, and some people thought it was shit. Right. And I'm like, well, 50-50. I said, why would you want to open a business where 50% of the people don't like your product? Right. And I'm like, everybody loves me. So why don't I just open my own?
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's why I took that. I had no intention of going into business or doing anything other than what I was doing. And he kind of put it in my head. And I opened a place at Levis Commons. And it was great and it was busy, but I had some mismanagement. And, you know, I wasn't there day to day. You know, I still had the full-time radio job. And, you know, I wasn't writing the checks. And, you know, you just start to find out that stuff's not going the way it's supposed to be going. And and then it just goes downhill. You make some dumbass decisions, and next thing you know, you don't know what you're going to do. I mean, they tell you you're virtually unemployable. It's funny. I get a text message where they say you're on a no hire list at Cumulus, which is 600 radio stations.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, so you know you have to reinvent. You know, if it's something you've always done, and you don't have a college degree, you don't have anything else to fall back on, you just got to make your way from there, and you just got to start hustling and figuring out what the hell you're going to do with your life. And there are a lot of mistakes, you know, there are a lot of missteps and failures. And I think I posted the other day is like, if you don't, you only learn from failures. I mean, you have to try, you have to go out there, you have to fail. And then that's how you're going to get to the successes that you need. And I failed plenty, you know.
Absolutely.
So, but you know, God has taken care of us, and we're where we need to be now. And, things are good.
So I say you're still breathing, you're still moving.
Exactly.
You got back into kind of the restaurant business, though. You have a food truck now, right?
I did. You know, I love the restaurant business. I love the radio business. And a friend of mine had this food truck that was just sitting there, and he had just bought it, and he wasn't doing anything with it. And he had owned a restaurant and bought the food truck, and then he was going into a restaurant that was twice the size, so he was moving his business. And you know, we talk, and it'd been a couple months, and I was like, "What are you gonna do with that food truck?" And he's like, "Man, I'm not gonna have time to do that." I said, "I don't know if I'm ever gonna have time to do it." I'm like, "Well, sell it to me." And he sold it to me, and I had no idea that I was gonna go in the food truck business, but I love the food business. And I was like, "Well, this sounds fun." And I think the challenge from there was to figure out something that everyone wasn't already doing.
Right.
The food truck market is pretty saturated in this market, and you know, I talked to Mike Francis, who owns the Loaded Chicken. He's a big wig when it comes to food here in town, and he said that there's even going to be an explosion even more this year of food trucks.
Oh, really?
They're just continuing to come out. So it was like, what can I do that everyone's not already doing? And we came up with queso, My mom's got a queso recipe, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
I did a stint with a Mexican restaurant for like a year, and so we used all her recipes, and her queso everyone said was amazing. So I said, well, I'll take queso and I'll put it on everything.
Yeah.
And the great thing that I think that we do that other people don't is, you put queso on burgers and tacos and nachos and whatever, but you can also put queso and make amazing Phillies and burgers and Philly and fries, queso fries and all that stuff. So it gave me a chance to not just have to be stuck in the Mexican niche, but I can also do some of these other amazing things, and they all have queso on them. And thank God it's done really well for us. So we went through one season, and we're getting ready to start season 2. So
nice.
Very
So
good.
it is seasonal? It's
seasonal for everyone else that's smart. We've run through the winter, and I don't think I'm going to do it again next year. It's just winters are really hard on the trucks, and it's cold, and and so I don't know if we're going to do. I don't know if we'll probably take at least a couple months off next year. But this year we powered through the whole season, but a lot of the trucks, especially the big ones, will take November, December, January, February is kind of like the 4 months that you take off.
It's kind of like the sign business. So I did the happy birthday signs in the front yard. And, I mean, I've done them through the winter, but this year I was like, I can't do it. It's like trying to cram them into frozen ground.
Oh, God.
And,
I
it's
can't
awful.
even imagine.
We'll say that sign business is for sale. So
is it?
If anybody has any interest in getting into the sign business and card your yard
is cool.
type of stuff.
I love that sign business. For those who don't know, it's like instead of a card, if you could put someone pulls up and they're like happy graduation or happy birthday or
happy
anniversary. Hey, we're getting a divorce, you asshole, or whatever it is. They can see it in the yard. Let everyone see it.
Yep.
Let everyone see your business.
Yep, exactly. What we're about.
So why are you getting out of it?
It's just, with the other stuff I do, it's just
too busy,
much.
Yeah,
too much for one person.
Well, that's the thing too. I think is we have the food truck business, and I'm expanding the podcast stuff because it's becoming more successful. And then we've also got a cleaning business.
Oh, you do?
That my wife does. My wife does. She does an apartment. They call them turnovers. Like when someone moves out of an apartment, then she'll go in and clean it and paint it and do all that stuff to it. So, but she's done pallets. We've done, like I said, we've done a lot of things to find our way.
Yeah.
But at some point, when you find a couple things that are being successful, you have to pull the stuff that's just taking time and it's not working.
Exactly.
Unless like with podcasting. It's not a great money maker, but you also have to have, some people golf. You have to have a hobby. Some people knit. I don't know if they still knit, but whatever.
Somebody does.
Somebody knits. And so if you look at it as a hobby, and then the monetization comes along, then cool. And if it doesn't, cool. It's whatever. You're doing what you love, but you have to start pulling away if you're serial entrepreneurs like you guys are and like I am, you some things work and some things don't. And when other things become successful and take more of your time, then you have to pull the things that just aren't working as well or just taking time away.
Yes, which is hard because you don't want to give up that money from that other side job, but it's like I can't make money in the stuff that's doing well if I'm still
and you have to look. You're like, okay, if I focus more energy here, I can make more. The potential of making more money then will eclipse what I'm doing here. It sucks for the short term because I was counting on that money, whatever it is. But at some point you make that decision.
Well,
like you said, you just quit your full-time job. That's scary.
Yeah, as I say, the passion goes along with it too because she was just out of passion for her previous job, and then
I was just burnt out.
Yeah. So the passion goes along with what do I drop? What do I get rid of? What's taking my time? What's taking my energy? And that's what led her to leave that other job. It was just a shit show.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. I tell people too. It's like you either, like I've had this debate with people. It's like if you have a toll booth worker, you can work at a toll booth for 30 years, 35 years, retire when you're 50, 55, and then you have the rest of your life is set. Like you're going to get a pension and you're going to get a retirement, but you've wasted the 35 years, the best part of your life. So it's like, do you do that? Do you suck it up and waste the best part of your life? Or do you end up like me? It's like, fuck, what am I going to do? I'm going to be 50 years old, and what the hell do I do now?
Right.
I don't know.
But you've enjoyed
a lot
life.
Of people have. Right. You've enjoyed the best part. You've done some amazing things. You're the best part of your life. But now it's like, all right, well, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So it's always the debate. Do you waste the best part of your life, or do you do what you want to do, and then it'll all work out in the end, hopefully.
Yeah, as I say, we've
That's the
talked
route
about
we're
that.
going on right now.
It's all going to work out.
But we have friends and family that they take the other route. They want the security, the stability, and
my mom was a toll booth worker.
See,
so
like a real toll booth?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, before they went automated.
Well, here's the problem too is sometimes when a lot of your family does the traditional, that it's hard for them to understand what you're doing.
Yes,
it's like you need a full-time job and a steady income and blah 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 blah. I'm like,
I had lots of people questioning. When I said I was going to quit, are you sure you want to do this? Well, what if you're not making enough money? It's, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But also your potential. Okay, so you're not. Let's say you're making $15 an hour, which is a decent. Let's say you're making $20 an hour. You work 40 hours. That's $800.
Right.
Well, in a business, you have like with a food truck. I mean, I can make $1,000 a day.
Right.
Pretty regularly. Pretty consistently. So that's $5,000-$6,000 a week.
Right.
There's a chance you're not going to make any. There's a chance, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just you take. Some people want to take that chance.
Right.
My wife and I talk. Business ownership, entrepreneurship is fucking hard.
It is
the hardest
it's
thing
stressful.
Ever done.
Yeah, you don't have a paycheck coming in, and we're always checking the PO box. Oh man, I hope there's a check in there today.
Right.
Because then when you're dealing with businesses, they're 30, they're 60, they're 90 days out, and it's stressful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, for
No,
real.
it's not.
And the other thing too is you have to both be on the same page, because then when it's real stressful and you're like, well, fuck, why'd you leave your job?
Yeah.
Right.
You start going at each other.
For sure.
And it's the stress. It's funny because when we're waiting on checks, it seems like we fight more, and when the checks come, we're like, we're
Life
good.
is good.
Yeah.
It's so true.
No, I think there's definitely a strong tie to money.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that.
It sucks. You don't want it to be.
Yeah, you don't want to say that. You're all about the money. Well, no, it's nice to have that comfort there. It's just like a little blanket. When someone starts pulling that blanket down, you get colder and colder and colder. You start to get a little more irritated. You start getting a little more anxious. You start getting a little more anxiety builds up, and you start taking it out on everybody around you.
That's my problem. My anxiety is.
Oh,
and then I take everything personal too. So if you get a customer that's not happy, or they're not as happy as you think they should be, then I take it to heart, and I'm like a basket case. And
and my wife was real. I mean, she didn't do this life before. Like she was, a manager at a bakery or whatever the hell she wants to do, and then I really pushed her out of her comfort zone, and she does have anxiety, and she doesn't have a real supportive family, so it's hard on her. But I give her credit in the fact that she realizes that she needs to seek therapy, and she needs medication, and she has anxiety and depression and all the ADHD and all these other things. Yeah. And there's too many people that power through, or it's stigmatized. Not as bad now, thank God, but
it's better.
But yeah, it is better. But still, a lot of people won't do it because of the stigma attached. But she's agreed. I mean, it changes her life when she's on her medication and she's going to therapy, and life is good, and she realized she needs to do that, and it's better for everybody, and it's kudos to her that she's able to realize that and follow through with the steps, because it's not it's a dedication to that, to go to therapy and realize that you need it and whatever.
That's my next step. I'd like to go to therapy. I'm medicated, so I understand.
You're not as heavily medicated. You've gotten off all that.
I mean, I've been trying to wean off of it, but I feel like I still.
But if you need it to be normal, who cares?
Right.
I mean, it's like telling a diabetic, "Oh, well, get off that diabetes medicine." Well, no, you need the medicine to live.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, everyone's wired differently, and everyone has different issues, and you got to do what you got to do.
So there's definitely a formula for life. We've gotten rid of a lot of our anxiety medications with working out. So you're going and getting that stress out.
That helps.
Just on a daily deal, if you can manage it, between kids and jobs and hours and putting in and stuff like that. But if you can make it to the gym and you can just beat the shit out of yourself for 20 minutes, half hour, or even an hour, that has replaced some of our other modes of anxiety, getting rid of it, or the meds and stuff like that. So
it does help. I know for sure. Because he used to be the type, if he didn't make it to the gym, he'd just be an asshole. And I'm like, like, really? Going to the gym? Like,
oh my God, dude.
Sucks.
I can't. I don't understand these people. They're like, they say that there's this high, this workout high or running high.
I never did.
No, it's I realize, and there's spurts where I've gone because I know you got to do it and I know I should do it, but there's spurts where I have done it, but it's always going to be the worst thing I do in the day, no matter what. And it's never gonna be a time where I'm like, I need to go work out. I need to do this. Yeah. It's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna go work out. Here we go. Let's do it. I wish I had the other way.
I'm telling you though, I was always that way. I was always like you're excited to work out?
Yeah.
What the hell? But it took me probably 6 months to a year of consistency, and then I am now in that spot.
Really?
Like if I don't work out, I'm kind of a bitch. And I mean, not that I'm like super model skinny, but it just makes me feel good and I'm in a much better mood. Like I get up and go to class at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Who never used to get up before 8, 9.
Yeah.
Really?
And I come home and I'm like all happy and he's like, just looks at me like, I didn't get mine in yet.
Yeah, so
and it's funny because I'm naturally, just from the time I get up, I'm just an energetic person.
Yeah.
My wife likes her sleep.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy. I'm like, let's go. Let's get moving. And I'm like, get up. Let's get our shit done. And she needs time to get up and get acclimated. And I'm like, no, let's do this. Of course, I think it's doing mornings for so many years.
Oh,
I
sure.
think you just get wired to that. But, 4 in the morning sucks. 3, no matter what.
No matter, that's awful.
But yeah, I'm usually up by 6 or whatever. No.
As I say, one of my questions was, you were just a ball of energy. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I don't drink coffee.
No.
I don't no alcohol, no drugs, no anything like that.
So I can buy my cocaine from you then.
It's just natural. I don't know. And it's all day long. I mean, I don't know. It's just totally natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As I say, you just on the radio, and I've seen you out in person before, and just you just have this gift to gab and an energy that's just like you could feed off of you.
I love talking to people. Even that's why the food truck thing is awesome.
Yeah.
You're at a different place every day. You're talking to new people all the time. I love that. I love doing that. Yeah, it's just meeting people. I like talking to people. And their stories interest me. Everyone's stories interest me.
Yeah.
So that's why I like talking to people.
I'll say that was a reason for our podcast, is that no one really sits and talks anymore.
Right.
It's usually via text or a short conversation, or someone's trying to talk over you and trying to wait for you to be finished. We wanted to sit and let somebody say, "Oh, this is who I am." Well, good. Well, you tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving me the topical bullshit answer that you give everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me know more about you. And that was like one of the premises for our show, and we're still about that. And that's why you're here. We want to know more about you.
It's funny. I tell people because I love, and over the years I've coached so many personalities just to be on the show. And at one point at KISS we had 40 or 50 people go through their just characters and stuff like that. So, outside of the main, 4 or 5 or 6, I think we had 7 maybe at one time, and then the show was really big. But it's just, I tell people, you just got to be real. Be real. And it's, Howard Stern, if you like Howard Stern, he was an amazing talent, whether you like him or don't.
Right.
The bottom line is he was a fledgling DJ going from station to station until he decided, I'm going to be real. And the more real he became, the more successful he became, because people want real. And that's why I tell people, I was like, don't fake it. I said, even, I tell, if we have a room of 5 people, I say, I don't care if you only say one thing the whole show. I can carry the show. I don't care if you say one thing. I don't care if you say 100 things. Just make sure what you're going to say is good. Don't just add in the shit that, like just, I don't know, generic newscaster stuff.
Right.
I was like, if you want to add something true, then add something. And if you want to just sit and listen, just sit and listen. But make sure what you come with is real and true and honest. And it's not, you're not just trying to say something newscaster generic just to get in the conversation, because you don't need to do that.
The Ryan Seacrest format.
God, I know. Jesus, that guy. I hate that guy. Everyone says you're just jealous of him. Well, yeah, probably, but I still hate that guy. He's just so vanilla white. Like, you know what you're going to get. Like, he's not going to offend anybody. He's not going to say anything. It's just, you can put him on any show. It doesn't matter. And he's going to.
But he's going to go down as like a Dick Clark or a Casey Kasem or somebody like that. It's just,
nope.
you can count on him for X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
But don't don't expect T, Y, and W. You know,
right?
You're not going to get those.
Right. You're not going to get you're not going to get a lot of viral moments out of him, but you're also not going to get the oh shit. What did he just say?
Right.
He knows where his lane is. He's going to stay in the middle and make a lot of money doing it.
There's a need for those people, I guess.
There is.
Absolutely.
You know, and we, as I already asked you, you know, keeping it real. I think we've been approached and been told that we swear a lot on this podcast, but that's just us. That's our personalities.
Naturally, yeah.
Right.
Did you, like I asked you before, I don't know if you really answered it, but did you have any trouble going from radio personality to podcast where there are no limits? There are no...
No, you know, we try, at first we tried to say, you know what, because the people expect a certain thing out of you. Like I tried to say, hey, we're not going to swear on the show, but that just evolved into, hey, if it's natural, just...
Yeah.
We don't want to do it every other word, but if it's natural conversation, then just go with it. So no, it's just made it more natural. And just
that's how I feel.
I mean,
we record sometimes. If it's just him and I, we'll record at night and have a couple drinks, and obviously it gets a little heavier. But you know, but it's funny because talking about being real, when it's just him and I recording, we seem to get more listeners, more views, that sort of thing. Than when we have like a really cool, semi-awesome or famous guest on, then it kind of goes down. It's weird.
Well, and I've never been a guest person. I don't like guests all that much, but I like roundtable discussion. Like I like to me, 4 to 5 people is my comfort zone. Like I don't want to do a show by myself. A show with me and another person doesn't interest me all that much. I like the more that you can not know what's going to happen next or what someone's going to say next, then it interests me a lot more. Yeah. So for me, the sweet spot's about 4 to 5, and then right around 6, it starts to get a little too talk-overy and not quite enough time. But that sweet spot's about 4 to 5, and the reason I know that is if you look at all the successful shows like The Talk, The View, they're all at the 5 mark, 4 or 5. Yeah. So right around that 5 is the 4 to 5 is like that secret spot to where you can have great conversation with people and have some compelling stuff and have some differences of opinions and work it out. But a 1 or 2 person thing just does not.
I would have never put The Talk or The View and great conversations in one same sentence or same paragraph.
Well, even like ESPN, any of those ESPN panel shows, it's right around that 4 or 5 people mark is kind of where. The formula's across wherever. That's kind of the sweet spot, I think. And even with us, we had we had like 4 or 5 people always. It's just otherwise you get 2 to 3. It just starts to bore me. And then, if I'm not excited and having fun, then I know that the listeners aren't having fun. So it's just
as I say, going with people that you bring on the show or people you've had as the DJ in the studio, and now you're podcasting. Is it the more controversial? Is that what you're looking for? Does that bring more ratings traditionally, or is there just...
Yeah, that doesn't really... I just do what I like. I don't think about that. You just try to be compelling and have great conversation. At the end of the show if it was a good show or a bad show. But especially, I haven't figured out this whole podcast and ratings and views and all that stuff. I just kind of do what I love to do. And
so you just throw it out there.
Hey, it's my golf. And if it turns into something, it does. And if it doesn't, it was fun for me to do for an hour or 2 hours a week. Just sit here and bullshit, on microphones and have fun with some people. Yeah. And the great thing too is that with technology especially over the last couple of years, as much as it's gone crazy, with COVID and being forced into it. You can have 4 or 5 people and have good conversation, and they don't even have to be in the same room anymore. As long as you can see them, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's cool, but it's just not as organic.
I know. Hey, I'm
reading
all about
reading your face and watching your hands and all that stuff.
Well, I'm all about I love in person, and that's the best for me as well. But when they're not getting paid, and and it's you don't want to be. I try to be as little a burden on everyone as possible, and sometimes it's just easier for them to just do it where they're at than to have to come in. But no, if it was a choice, if I said here or here, then I would rather have. But I'd rather have an in person with a full crew and having fun. But I would take an in person 2. I would over that I would take a virtual 5. over in person
for sure.
too.
Yeah.
For sure.
So if I had the choice.
Okay. Speaking on that, you got his check for $5,000, right?
Right.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
Cost us a pretty penny to get your ass here, Andrew Z. But so glad you made it.
So I don't know. It's fun. I like you guys. You guys are fun, and it's
Thanks.
cool. I like the setup. I like the vibe.
Good. As I say, we had some fun last weekend. You probably would have enjoyed that. We went out with a couple of people from out of town, and we ended up at Nagoya, sitting around the big fire pit.
Oh yeah.
And the cook was dead. He sucked.
Oh no.
No personality.
Ah.
So we had a few drinks in us, and we were high-fiving everybody that was leaving. We were right by the door. We were screwing around with the people next to us. It was a blast.
It made so many people uncomfortable, though.
I didn't see that. I didn't read that. I didn't read that in people's faces.
The wife always recognizes that stuff.
Like, why are you high-five? I don't know you. It's like, we're just being nice and friendly. Why is that so weird now?
I always feel when we go to the hibachi places, I always feel bad because, if we got 5 kids and me and Colin, we're 7, and there's usually like a 9, the table's like 9. So you have this poor fucking couple there that has to sit with us, like almost like they become part of our group. I always like, I'm sorry, guys, but they become part of your family because you're all sitting at the same table because you've taken up all the seats.
Yeah, we did that, yeah.
There was 6 of us, and there was 3 girls, 3 sisters that were together. And they just thought we were a riot.
Oh, good.
So they were fun.
Truth be told, we don't get out very often. And when we do, we usually tie one on and have a good time and kind of throw disregard to.
Hibachi is one of our favorites. It's a little on the expensive side when you have so many people, but we love doing the hibachi.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It is fun.
Well, I wanted to ask you, since you brought up podcasts, you have 3?
3 what?
3 different podcasts?
Let's see. I know we do. I just started a food truck one where we feature different food truck drivers every week, and it's one of the things I told you I don't like. It's a one-on-one conversation, and not my favorite. But I do like hearing their stories and how they got started, and maybe it's because I'm doing it, so it interests me. But we have a food truck one, we have a Cedar Point one, which has got 4 or 5 people on it, and we just talk all things Cedar Point. News is coming up, our favorite rides, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. So we have a Cedar Point one, and then we're starting a Weed Moms podcast.
This is interesting.
Yes, moms that smoke weed. It's just become accepted. I mean, no one cares.
Yeah, right.
No.
If you smoke weed, no one's gonna be like, "Oh my god, that criminal." No one gives 2 fucks if you smoke weed anymore.
Nope.
I don't care what you do. Actually, as long as it doesn't affect me, I really don't care what you do at all.
Yep.
So we're starting a Weed Moms podcast, and I like, I don't know, I like producing them. Like I said, I like talking to people and coaching them talent wise, and so we're working on a few more.
All right. So I say the Weed Moms podcast got me intrigued.
Got a lot of people intrigued.
I was going to say, are they lined up out the door just waiting to share their pot stories or pot recipes? This is what I shared with Sherry. And
there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I know one lady said that her kid, the only reason her kids are alive is because she smokes weed.
True.
So,
I can see that.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, and we talked about anxiety. I mean, I guess there are a lot of health benefits. I don't smoke weed, but a lot of my family does. A lot of my friends do. I have no problem with it. I just don't. But I guess there's a lot of health benefits to it, and they're finding out a lot of things that it's better for you than smoking or drinking.
Right. Yeah, we have a friend that likes the gummies. Claims it makes his anxiety just totally go away.
I have a friend like that as well. She takes gummies all the time. She'll when it does the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would smoke anymore. I mean, all the effects that it does to your body and your lungs and shit like that. I don't know why you'd smoke anything anymore.
Is it different? What is it better if you ingest it than like in a gummy or something than smoking? I don't know the difference.
I mean, I have a family member that used it, and they like to just have a joint over the gummy. They didn't like. The gummy was too delayed.
But health-wise, is it if you're ingesting the same thing but you're not smoking it, it's better for you?
Well, I think it would be better for you just because you're not getting the smoke inside the lungs and crushing up and beating up the alveoli. And
well, see, if that's the case, I don't know why you would smoke then if you could get the same effects and not be a health detriment to you. I don't know why you would.
Maybe it's more romantic to sit there and hit a bong and watch it bubble up and hit all the smoke comes out of your lungs.
Do people still use bongs still?
I don't know. It seems very movie-esque. I just threw that out there. I don't know. I've known a lot of people in my days that have hit the big bong and just this cloud comes out of their
I remember one time when I was in probably 16, high school, and my friends, they all smoked weed or whatever, and they say, you got to smoke. I'm like, I don't want to smoke. I just didn't want it. I don't know why. I never had the desire to, but they tried to lock me in the car and get me contact high. They all smoked. I don't think it worked. I don't know. They tried.
That's funny.
They wouldn't let me out. I was in the middle in the back seat where there's three of us. I was in the middle, and they locked the doors and closed all the windows, and they all just proceeded to blow smoke in my face to try to get me contact high.
Oh
I don't know if it worked. I don't think it did.
You just became very good at holding your breath.
Right. Exactly.
I've seen some weird stuff as far as, I've seen a video of this guy that took a giant, looked like the rim of a tire, and cut out the center of it, and set it on top of this leaf blower, and just loaded this sucker up with pot.
Really?
And then took a blowtorch and started lighting and burning the top of it, turned on the leaf blower, and just sucked and blew this cloud into this garage of 30 people in this garage.
What? And they all got high?
Ridiculous. Oh, my God, you had to. I mean, just plumes.
Seriously?
Plumes. I mean, these pop bundles were like as big as your fist, but it was hilarious to watch. It's like,
oh my
God. One, how much that cost you? And
right.
Two, did everybody get high off that? Could you even like function and walk out of that room?
That's so weird. I don't know.
Wow.
And that's like too the amazing things you can see like now on videos or Facebook or TikTok or just the shit that people come up with now. You're like, wow.
As I said, we've not expanded truly into the TikTok and the Reels, Instagram Reels market, but she's really getting into it now.
Really?
And I think I told her once she gets me started on that, it'll be like crack.
Oh my God.
See, I that's why I don't start. Like I won't get into the TikTok at all. Because everyone that's on it, it wastes so much of their time. I'm like, I don't even want to start because I know how much time that they spend.
Yeah.
It's for sure a time sucker. I don't know if you get better at it and faster at it, but just trying to make some for my business, and I'll be there. It's like, shit, it's been an hour and I haven't accomplished anything.
Well, and that's just even with Facebook. Like you get up in the morning and then you spend 25 minutes to start on Facebook, and then you do, and then you'll get ready a little bit, then you another 15 minutes, and then you're answering some emails, and next you've probably wasted 2 hours in the morning just on bullshit before you get your day started.
Exactly,
nowadays.
and it's all
It
bullshit.
wasn't like it was back in the day.
No. Oh no, back in the day you got up and got moving, then you actually went and started talking to people.
Right, exactly.
No, you don't talk to people. I think it was a book I read or something, but they were talking about how it's not good to start your day scrolling. And they said, think about it like when you wake up in the morning, all your friends on Facebook, how many do you have? Would you invite all those people into your bedroom when you first wake up?
No.
And I'm like, hell no. But it kind of made sense. Like I'm inviting all of them and their drama and their life happenings into my room before my day even starts.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Like, no, I've heard that. They say going to bed, you shouldn't be on there right before you go to bed, and then first thing in the morning you shouldn't. But
I know.
Bam!
Easier
this
said
one right here.
Shut up.
and then my wife will wake up in the middle of the night, and the first thing she'll do is get on her phone. I'm like, you're not going back to sleep now.
No, not now.
Now you're up.
Yep, you're in the portal. You're in the black hole. You're not leaving.
I won't touch it. I put on Do Not Disturb, and I won't touch it until I get up. And if people need to call me, I think you call like 2 or 3 times, and it'll finally go through. Yeah. So if it's important, but other than that, I don't.
Yeah.
I keep put on Do Not Disturb.
So that's just amazing that we've all gone into the Facebook and or the metaverse. I feel like people are going into the universe of, let's make believe of this life. Let's sit back and put our goggles on and make everything just make believe. It's much more pleasant. I can fight that guy over there if I want to, and I'm going to take a piss in a minute. I'll be fine.
And I know social media, I think, has been so bad. I think it's really taken down the country. I mean, and I think it's going to continue to get worse. And the problem is, if you know algorithms, a whole country can. I mean, there's countries trying to take down our country with just fake shit and bullshit and whatever. Yeah. And it's easy to do if you know the algorithms. And a small amount of money and a small amount of people can really affect a whole country now.
Yeah.
When it comes to social media,
because you think they're actual people out there.
Right.
And, I agree with you, but it's really a bot you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not really the metaverse or the social verse or whatever the hell it is. I'm really not into it. Like I said, that's probably the reason why I haven't gotten into Reels. Because like I said,
I don't even know what Reels is.
It's like the TikTok but of Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So it's videos. And...
That's what Facebook tries to do. They either buy it or they'll try to copy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything that starts to take off.
Oh, yeah.
They'll do one. They'll either try to buy it, or if they can't, if you won't sell it to them, then they'll just make something just like it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I want to get back to, I wanted to ask you, do you miss radio DJing?
Yeah, occasionally I do. I mean, we're so busy. I don't think about it all that often, and then the podcasting kind of fills the void a little bit that you have. But yeah, no, I definitely miss it. You know, and who knows, the right opportunity comes along down the road. But I just know too many important people in the business that say it's a dinosaur that it's not what it's going to be.
Well, what was the big draw to being a radio DJ? It was like I'm a rock star type of thing. I go to these parties where we're doing certain nights or whatever, and I'm there. I'm doing a remote from this club and all that.
I think that's all part of it, but it's also just being able to get paid to do what you love. I mean, you sit around with some friends and bullshit for 4 hours and get paid for it. I mean, I think anyone that loves their job, I think has a bit of the same thing. You know, there was one time where I was in Des Moines, Iowa, and I was doing the afternoon show, and then there was a morning show, and we chartered 2 planes from Des Moines to Chicago to see NSYNC. So they were going to pick us up that afternoon. I was playing where I was a couple 3 hours maybe, but so the morning show filled their plane with listeners, and we filled our plane with listeners. It was one of those like 6-7 passenger planes. It was like, just a little plane, But the limo picked us up at the station, everyone, around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock or whatever, and they drove us to the airport. Then we flew the plane, and then we got a limo there at the airport in Chicago, and then they took us to the concert at 7, 8 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock, the concert was over. We're back in the limo and back on the planes and back home the same night. Wow. And I mean, doing cool shit like that. I mean, I've got to do a lot of cool shit like that.
Say, are there more perks like that come with?
I don't think
does it depend on which market you move into?
Yeah, it depends on the market. It depends how big the station is, and then it also, I mean, it's not like it used to be. It used to be a lot cooler like that. You know, it's not like that as much anymore. It's just not.
I was gonna say, do you miss the life of going and doing like a raging party on a Friday night and then having to do it again on Saturday night, and then you're right there for the morning show?
You know, I towards the end, I didn't do a whole lot of that anymore. You know, it was good money. The extra money was good money. It was $250 for 2-hour, broadcast appearance or whatever. So you go out and do a remote, and it was $250 for the 2 hours. And but I was making enough money, and I just got, I get burnt out on those live broadcasts. I did. Yeah. And other people around me needed the money more, a producer or co-host or whatever. So a lot of that stuff I gave up towards the end. I would kill for now. But in the end, it wasn't as fun. I got burnt out on doing those live broadcasts out and just wanted to focus on the show and then go home. And
let's say I would think that'd have to be an appealing thing for a younger DJ to just go out and rage on Friday and Saturday night, but you're out there with the drunks, you're out there with the screamers and the woo girls and the going in and bumping against dudes in the bathroom and dudes that are puking and girls are holding other girls' hairs back. I mean, it's just
I think with anything is you just get older and you get a family and your priorities change. It's not as cool as it was, and then all of a sudden you feel out of place. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? I want to be home. I had a friend of mine. She texted me over the weekend and she's like, I went to the club Saturday for an hour, and she's like, I had enough. I can't anymore. There was a point where my wife and I we had a bar called Rockstar, and it was a karaoke bar. It was a campus bar, so it was on UT, not on the campus, but it was like walking distance, right across from Chasers. Chasers were on one side, we were on the other side, and this was like 3 years ago maybe, and it just ended up being we were babysitters. Yeah. All right, God, no. John, you can't pee on the floor. You got to go in the bathroom.
Oh God!
And then your walls would be knocked down in the bathroom. The partitions would be knocked down at the end of the night.
Oh, hell no!
So you know what? And my wife was pregnant at the time, so we had the baby, and she was at the door and dealing with these girls that were running around and boy problems. Man. It was just, I was like, oh my God, I can't. I'm way too old for this anymore. I can't anymore.
I don't know if I don't.
We did that for a year, almost a year,
Wow.
I think, and then
Really?
couldn't do it anymore.
That's a lot. We were celebrating a friend's birthday, and it wasn't us, but and they wanted to go to BG and like do the bars in BG, and I'm like, we're fucking old now, like we can't do this. So I mean, we started our night at what, 6:00?
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
early birded it.
Yeah. I mean, by the time we were done, it wasn't even busy yet because
right. They don't start till 11. You're rolling by 9:30. You're like, oh, come on.
But
You've
it
been
was
out
great.
3 hours.
Yeah.
But it was great. We got to play on the pool tables. I mean, they were all open. You got to get drinks when you wanted them. You could. It was fantastic. Fantastic
It was
from
old
that
people
point.
fun.
It's funny. The guy that I bought the food truck from, he owns a Beckett's Burger Bar.
Oh,
So
that's where we
it's
ate.
in BG.
That is where we ate. Yeah.
Is it where you ate?
Yeah.
So because he had one location, it was smaller, and then moved into the old Sambo's location.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we
And
ate.
so that's when he moved into Sambo's, was right at that time. He's like, I'm not doing a food truck. This is too much work. Right
Yeah.
here, dealing with this. That's how I got the food truck from George, the guy that owns
Okay.
Beckett's. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
where
they
do
have
you?
really good food.
They do.
Yeah.
Where do you go to park this food truck? I mean, where do you?
All
where
over, man. We're at Amazon a couple days a week. We go to festivals. We do a lot of employee feeds. Tomorrow we're doing Costco. They're doing a 22 Taco Tuesday.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna go out there and feed the employees tomorrow at Costco. So I mean, it varies.
cool.
That's what's cool about it, is it's just different every day.
Yeah.
Just a different adventure every day.
Is that what you prefer versus being locked into?
Yeah, it's funny.
X number of hours.
I was just talking. We had a food truck podcast this morning. I was talking to him, and it's not even. It's the same amount of hours. It's still a long day because you still have to prep and then do the event and then afterwards. But it's going where people are going to be, so it's going to be busy. Like I said, there's nothing worse than I've had both sitting in a restaurant and not have customers, and you're sitting there all fucking day, and you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And so knowing that you're going where there's going to be people. So you're always going to have business. I like that aspect of it over the restaurant, just sitting there and paying people to do nothing and whatever. It's just
How does that work with a food truck? I mean, do you prep your food beforehand? Do you do some cooking there?
We do 90% of it on site. So we're usually the first truck there. So we make it that before the event starts. So the event starts at 4. I'll usually pull up around 2 and start making the meat and the chicken and all that stuff and chopping all that. Now, legally, you have to make everything on the food truck. You can't prepare anything like at home or another kitchen.
Really?
Oh, okay.
It has to be in Ohio. It has to be made on the food truck. So we do it all there, but we also do it. Usually do it before each event. So I get there early and like to do it.
Are there any? Homeless people squabble over territories. You guys squabble over territories. Food trucks pull up. And
no,
all that dicks here.
it's a really cool community. Everyone's super supportive of the other people.
That's
They're
nice.
there's not really a whole bunch of that. I know there's one place we go. It's in an old Banner mattress in Toledo. It's on the corner of Alexis and Douglas.
Yeah.
And it organically became the place for food trucks. There'll be 10 trucks there. But sometimes there'll be one truck there. You never know who's going to be there. But there's like 2 or 3 taco trucks, and they just all get along and no problem. Yeah, no, it's a very supportive community.
Okay.
That's nice.
So how many do you think of them are running around out there in
Food
Toledo?
truck shit, I bet this season I bet we're gonna have maybe 80 food trucks.
Oh wow.
I bet.
Wow.
That's just I'm guessing. Someone else would know more, but it's funny because I was talking to Trevor Dieter, who owns Dietz Barbecue, and he's putting on his 3rd food truck this season.
Oh.
Wow.
And he said by the end of the season, he has a feeling he's gonna be able to find them for $10 a pop on the marketplace because
What, food trucks?
many. Yeah, there's just so many now.
Wow.
Everyone wants to get in the game, but there's a certain percentage that are going to do very well, and then there's a certain percentage that aren't. You just hope to be in the top echelon of actually making money. There's no guarantee. Just because you have a truck doesn't guarantee you're going to make money.
I was going to say, which matters more, hustle or the food?
Both. I bet it's a combo of both. Yeah.
Well, you don't know where the people are going to be at. That's why I said, where do you typically pop up at?
Well, it's funny because some of the events are swing and misses. Some are home runs, some are swings and misses. You don't know, but after doing it for a season, you kind of have a better idea now. Like, hey, I'm not going to waste my time at these type of events because I know that you're not going to make the money you need to make. You need to be at these type of events. So it took a season of just going and being where there's not a lot of people. But we'll go to, like I said, Amazon, the Alexis and Douglas.
Yeah.
A lot of breweries now. There's a lot of breweries that don't do food. There's 60cc on Reynolds. There's Ernest Brew Works on Detroit. There's Patron Saints on Bancroft. So they have a lot of these breweries that are popping up over these last few years. They have a lot of food trucks out there. Cool. Yeah, we were at a place, Urban Woody Pinery, I think it's called, in Tiffin over the weekend. We did great there. It was crazy busy. And he's just a little brewery. Did I say winery? Yeah, Urban Woody Brewery. Okay. And so but these little breweries now are popping up and having food trucks out. So,
how do you set the schedule? How do you say, well, let's go over there today, or you just kind of go by like, well, there's a festival down this way, or?
Well, you kind of a lot of times people will like we usually get people messaging us all the time. Hey, come here. So you just kind of fill in the schedule, and then there'll be a wedding, and then there'll be a grand opening, and there'll be a festival, and then there'll be
I was going to ask if you do weddings.
Employees, yeah, we do. We've done a couple weddings, about 3 or 4. We've got scheduled in the next couple months.
Cool.
So yeah, we do weddings.
So now, because I am planning on eventually, I've been in my place for a while, but having like a grand opening, and I've seen you did a grand opening for a place in Perrysburg.
Yep.
How does that work? Do I pay you a certain amount to come out?
It depends. Like we have a minimum usually.
Okay.
So, but it also depends on are you gonna? Well, we have a minimum. It's like, let's say it's $500. So let's say, hey, we need to make $500 because that's what it's going to cost to whatever. And so if it's $500 for the people, or let's say $300 for the people, and then you'll kick in $200 just to make sure we hit that minimum. Okay. So it could be a combination. Okay. But it varies on event. Some events like I don't know, the Cherry Festival or something like that, then they'll charge you a couple $100 to be there because they have a built-in audience. You're going to make,
you're going to make that back.
You're going to make that back easily. So every you have to evaluate each opportunity on its merits.
Okay. Say, what's the most or the busiest place you've ever been? A festival where you're just kicked ass and.
Oh Jesus, there's been several.
Has there?
It's been crazy. Where was the really busy one? We were at a craft show. There's a craft show. What's it called? I think it was maybe Shipshawana or some shit. I don't know, but it was some indoor craft show. And it was non-stop the whole time. Yeah, it was crazy.
Those craft ladies.
I know those craft ladies love to eat queso and chips. They can't.
They're the same ladies you find at Loma Linda's sucking down margaritas.
Right, exactly.
On a Friday night, getting loud.
If we could sell margaritas, we would. We would have it made. That would be amazing. But I wish they would allow that.
I'm thinking you could probably secretly start with your pot podcast for the moms. You could just start selling little dime bags or gummies out the back door.
Anyone else could. For me, anything I do, it's on. Tight. Oh, they're on it. I'm not doing any. I can't get away with anything. Everyone's on it. Someone tells somebody, and then someone gets involved, and then there's someone calling.
Oh no, Andrew's he's got the best queso. Oh my God. Andrew's got the best queso and the best gummies.
Yeah, exactly. That would last like a day.
Shut down.
It's funny because during COVID, we were doing the start of the podcast, and the city, me and the city do not get along, but the city, they sent pictures saying that we couldn't do business out of our home, that we're not supposed to do. So they sent pictures of me doing the podcast, like through our window. They'd sent pictures.
No way.
Yeah, they'd someone taking pictures of me doing the podcast indoors and saying that you can't. I'm like, everyone is doing, it's COVID. Everyone is doing business out of their house.
Exactly.
But it's me. It's funny. There was in our house, there was an above ground pool that had been there for years. We've been in our house about 2 years. And as soon as we moved in, we had to take it down because it wasn't up to code.
It was a nuisance.
I mean, it's been here for years.
Oh my gosh!
We didn't even put the thing in.
Wow.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like the businesses and or people of Toledo have treated you fairly, or do you feel like there's still some people out there that just out to get you for no freaking reason?
Look, the average person, they're great. We go to parades and do all that stuff. The average, there are some people at the top that just want to fuck with you, and there's no doubt about it. But the regular people, it's it's been great, and most people, it's a very small percentage, but those small percentage of people happen to be usually in pretty good places that they have the ability to fuck with you. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So there's that, but for the most part, people are awesome.
Oh, for sure. That's what we're banking on anyway. Once we hit more ears, that people will listen to us and tell their friends about us and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Sometimes you just can't like people. I mean, there's a lot of people that just make themselves unlikable, and you're just like, fuck you.
But like I said, the thing is too, just do it because you love it and you have fun with it, and then if more ears come, they come. If they don't, you're still having a good time.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, we kind of reevaluated after 1 year and said, okay, well, we haven't made money off of this, but we've had fun doing it. So,
and if it's some therapy and it gives you something to do,
like a date night,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how many couples get to actually sit down and talk with their husband all the time? Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Well, they choose not to, because some of the couples are either one of them's in there gaming or the other one's on their phone and they won't get off of it.
Yeah, it's finding a hobby that you guys can do together, which that is a challenge for a lot of couples to be able to find something that they both enjoy doing. Yeah. So I mean, that right there is worth doing it.
Yeah,
for sure.
You have your wife on the podcast?
She pops in on occasion, and it depends. And we've had the kids, and so like. Or if she wants to wake up, because we do the morning show early.
Oh, do you?
So some weeks she'll get up and be motivated, and some weeks she won't, and then some weeks the kids are running around, so she won't be able to jump on. So, but she's got a microphone there. She'll pop on whenever she
takes her break from her knitting.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, hell, this has been an excellent podcast.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, thanks, you guys.
Really appreciate you coming on. You've been a personality in this area for a long time. I listened to you for many years.
More than we thought.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just cool to have you in the house.
Oh, thank you.
To actually meet you.
Like I said, I love what you guys are doing. Love the studio. So I appreciate. Hey, you can come. I'll come on anytime you want me to, and then you guys have to come over to check out my studio.
Oh, definitely, we'd love to. For sure. Always interested in that. So. But yeah, we want to thank everybody for your time this time. And until next time, thank you, Andrew Z.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right.